Meanwhile, at the Hall of Cage.
This is my snakeskin jacket, and for me, it's a symbol of my individuality and belief in personal freedom.
Oh God, not the bees.
Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey.
What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna save the fucking day.
How absurd.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
How absurd. I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. How absurd.
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
How absurd.
What's in the bag? A shark or something?
How absurd.
Well, I think you better pull the trigger, because I don't give a fuck.
How absurd.
I never disrobed before gunplay.
How absurd.
I still have a bunch of my old wrestling VHSs.
Well, I'd have been surprised if you didn't.
I mean, they're just Fosters. They just not Fosters. Duck Hill. Sorry, like back home.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! Way in the back home with the homes.
Oh yes.
I have a letterbox now.
Oh,
fantastic! Fancy.
Yeah.
So you guys can stay up to date on what I think about all the stuff that I don't watch.
That's fair. That's very fair. And I'm glad that you were able to tell us this and to do this live on this episode of Caging Greatness.
Wow. A cold open?
Yeah. Have you not listened to the show?
If you listen, you know what to get into.
We're known for cold opens on this show.
Right. Because if the audience of two people knows what we're talking about as we come in, we're not doing our jobs right.
It's really not as entertaining.
No, not at all.
And they definitely just don't blindly click on an episode without reading the title.
No, God, no, nobody does that.
They just get the text alert from Apple Podcasts. It's like, the boys are here.
I mean, they don't even click on the episode. Why would they blindly click?
Stop the presses.
Anyway, this is, of course... Oh,
you son of a bitch!
Man, this is your first episode
in my house!
And you're already infringing on people's gimmicks?
Yeah, see, if I'd have known...
Mike Ken, God.
If I'd have known it was started, I could have done it beforehand. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Not like that?
That's better, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to this episode of Caging Greatness, the episode where we talk about the films of Nicolas Cage about 46% of the time, and where we discuss how Thomas Jefferson was a massive, massive prick. Here with me, as always, are my co-hosts, recently returned from a documentary about the wives of scorekeepers in Major League Baseball called Umpires Miss. To my right, we...
God damn it.
Jesus.
To my right, we have, of course, Jonathan.
I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire.
Switching some places around, to his right, we have Cannon.
Yes, and on this day in particular, I would like to remind everybody that Christopher Columbus was also an insufferable prick.
Yes, he was.
Indeed, he was.
Why we're choosing to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day.
See, I'm going with a classic TV reference. I like Columbo Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there's also a National Coming Out Day. So, hello, everybody.
And, of course, to Cannon's right is Patrick.
Yes, hello. It's Plasma Pat. I will now be helping you donate your blood forcibly.
To Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Right. And a special guest on the show that we've talked about for a few weeks now. It's our good friend, the Ken Logan.
The Ken Logan. Happy to be here. Glad to be here.
Good. Speak
Our
up.
first non-Frank guest.
It is our first
Wow.
non-Frank
A
guest.
momentous occasion. It's going to be hard to follow that up.
It's going to be difficult, but I think you can do it.
I'll try.
So, here we are today to talk about a classic Nicolas Cage meme performance. That's right, we're talking about Nick Cage today. I realize that's pretty weird, but here we are.
We don't talk about him here.
It's really out of character for this
It really
podcast.
is unusual. But today we are discussing Vampire's Kiss. It was the first time I had seen the movie in probably 10 years. And I think the first time for the rest of you.
Correct.
Yep.
And Boy, howdy. That was a ride, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. So, per usual, let's go around and we'll give our scores and a brief review. Then we'll talk about this batshit insane fever dream of a film.
Oh.
So, John, what'd you think?
Honestly, I don't know if it's the best movie ever made or the worst movie ever made.
No, Holy Mountain was last week.
Still smarting over that one.
But this movie's like Robert Altman meets David Lynch with the like sprinkle of fucking Looney Tunes. It's wild. Right now I'm sitting at a 3. I can go up or down depending on my next rewatch, which will probably like
after this podcast,
6.5 years. Actually, I'm watching it on my phone right now.
We're gonna find out.
I'm a vampire.
We're gonna find out live.
It stinks.
It stinks.
Alrighty, I hate this movie. Fuck it.
It's like half star, all the way down.
All right, because I hate change, we're just going to go with Pat in the
hello.
next normal order.
Well, you went with in an alternate direction for the interviews.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but this is the reviews. This is how we do it. And I knew it would throw you off and irritate you. So, Pat.
Oh, no.
Just on you, I'm feeling the vibe. I gave the movie a 3. I could be persuaded to go a little higher.
I should go higher.
We'll see. I will say I had a hoot and a holler. I hee-hawed all the way through. There is just a lot of just unhinged Cage energy in it, which I absolutely adore. There's also some wild tonal shifts in the film that have my reservations about, but ultimately I did enjoy the film. And also mescaline is a hell of a drug.
Isn't it just? Cannon.
Yes.
What'd you think?
Well, I had only heard the legends and just all the memes in the world that have come from this movie. This was definitely a ride. Like, I'm not sure what kind of a trip it was. Like
a mescaline.
But man, the more, I'm not gonna lie, I really liked it. Oh my God, it is, I believe all the hype now. It is every bit as bananas as I've heard. His accent, where he doesn't know if he wants to be like a surfer bro or like a British guy. Like, it's just a toss-up, and Jonathan mentioned it at times it sounded like he was doing a bad Trump impression. Cage, and he's done this in a couple of his films, he just doesn't know what accent he wants to stick with, so he's like, you know what, fuck it, do them all. That being
Mr.
said,
Worldwide.
That being said, this was my particular brand of bananas tonight for some reason. I don't know why, but holy shit, I'm going with my heart on this one. I've been screaming 4 the whole time. I'm giving it a 4.
Nice.
I am shocked at how much I enjoyed that, actually.
Holy crap. All right, Ken, as our guest, what do you think?
So I went in this movie completely blind. Didn't even really know about the memes until Justin told me about it. The first half of the movie was pretty weird. You know, you go into it and it's just like, wow, this is some coked out 80s office stuff. And, you know, if you're looking at it from like, 30 years in the future kind of perspective, it's kind of like a really weird social commentary on like early corporate culture and like how it's like fueled by cocaine and sexism. But then it's like someone just was like, forget all that, let's just put the brake on the crazy pedal, and they just didn't let off for like the entire second half of the movie. As long as you don't ask why at any point during the movie and you just take it at face value, I think it's pretty great. I loved it. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Very nice. Very nice. I mean, you guys know what I'm like. You know what I enjoy. This shit got a 4. I loved it. I loved it when I was younger. I love it now. I laughed some more. I cried from laughing. It's so fucking fun.
I don't think it's supposed to be, though. That's the bad part.
I don't think it is either.
It's supposed to be a black comedy. Like, that's how it was made. That's how it was marketed. It was supposed to be fucked up but funny. But I don't think it's the funny they were really going for.
Yeah, like, any humor that I think they tried to make maybe didn't quite connect or wasn't as funny as just all the unintentional nonsense that happened.
It's sort of like how Freddy Got Fingered is an unintentional masterpiece.
Yeah. Don't worry, you're not the only one. I'm with you.
And you're just leaving them hanging?
Oh, man. We had a full-blown... That was like one of our first like in-depth conversations we ever had together. Was about Freddy Got
Yeah, we were both
fingered.
like drunk as tits just talking about that just fucking stupid movie. That for some reason, my stupid brain is just like, Daddy, would you like some sausage?
So Vampire's Kiss.
Yes. Mwah.
Too bad Tom Hardy wasn't in it because he got them big old lips.
He's got them big kissing lips.
Are you guys still hung up on Venom 2? Is that...
No, we're just still we're just still on Tom Hardy. Like the Tom Hardy train never left the station, bro.
I mean,
Also,
that's
if
fair.
you would go check out AYCH's feed where we have a
for
spoiler-filled review. of Venom 2.
It's not the plugs yet, Pat.
Well, I take my shot when I see it, Shem.
Venom 2 is like these two movies I mentioned, unintentionally fantastic.
They have a lot of wild, chaotic energy.
And if you like how Pat hijacked Caging Greatness to talk about All You Can Hear, then perhaps you would enjoy his design shirt on tpublic.com/user/Caging Greatness. That's where our merch is. You should go check it out.
Yeah, all the people who can see my shirt that I didn't get from T-Pub, I got it from Society 6.
No, the one I made for you for the merch store where you're putting the AYCH sign over the Caging Greatness logo.
To Society 6. That's where I got my shirt.
It's the store that for the show, Pat.
They're also debuting our Society 6 because we're moving. Look, I got an email from Society 6 saying, hey, we got some bucks for you if you just transplant your business.
Okay. Well,
what's going on?
tpublic.com/user/Caging Greatness. You can find all the merch for the show if you like the show. All two of you.
Well, good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night. There are the plugs. And if you're listening to this on the day it comes out,
The Late Takes with Tanner. Listen to that too.
So anyway, Vampire's Kiss is about Nicolas Cage, who is a right bastard.
Yes.
And 80s corporate greed, like think American Psycho, but not a satire, right? And yeah.
Honestly, I think it's more effective as a satire than like Wall Street or American Psycho.
Yeah, no, probably.
I was getting mad. Like I was just like, wow. Saw American Psycho all over it. Well, at least like I feel like it could have been. They could have drawn inspiration from this film, at least, and how Patrick Bateman was acting.
Well, I mean, actually, I'm kind of curious now because I don't know when this movie came out in relation to when the book was written.
Yeah, I forget. American Psycho is a book, and I never read that. I just saw
I think that came out in the 90s.
Yeah,
American Psychotropic Drugs.
Yeah, American Psycho was published in 1991, and Vampire's Kiss was released in 1989. So, Are we saying that Bret Easton Ellis plagiarized the Nicolas Cage movie? No, because it almost certainly didn't happen.
Yeah, but what we are saying is that man is a fucking psycho.
And we are willing to lie on a podcast.
Yes, I mean, we'll say whatever the hell we want to. It's great. So yeah, he's crazy, and he gets attacked by a bat, which sexually arouses him. And then
that did happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. I thought about it. Like the whole movie, he starts hallucinating a vampire lady. Because that's like
Or has he hallucinated? How much of it is in his head? How much is happening?
according to interviews, it was all in his head. None of that shit actually happened.
None of it?
None of it. He was crazy the whole time.
I mean, did he actually have a job?
Yeah, no, like all the vampire shit. None of that was real. Like he was never a
He was
vampire.
just a homeless man. He just strained up everything.
No, he was just, and I wonder, like, if there was a first draft where the bat gave him rabies, and he started just hallucinating the vampire shit because he was dying, and if Spoiler alert, if he hadn't been staked through the stomach at the end, if he would have just died anyway.
Yeah, he would have just like overheated and his blood would have like evaporated from his body.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you're on rabies.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
When you're on the rabies, Pat, are you on the rabies?
Don't look at my mouth right now.
Rabies, not even once.
Just say no to rabies.
And you never paid for rabies, not once.
It's just it's like a cop gets down the door, freeze kids, and there's like all these kids holding like a rabid raccoon to their neck. Fuck off, pig!
And you never paid for rabies. Not once.
You don't want none of this, Cage.
Get out of here. You don't want none of this raccoon shit. The rabies and the foam.
All right, does anybody know? Shim, do you happen to know anything about why he did his accents the way he did?
Actually, no, I don't.
Honestly, I just want to know anything about the thought process behind this acting.
Well, this is just a mystery of the theater. Because evidently the first girl he's trying to hook up with is out. She lives inside a musical theater like apartment because like there's fucking Robin Hood and this like Jubilee girl and like this mime couple doing this like
slap spit bit twice.
This slap spit like just like domestic violence like performance on the stoop,
like almost on the nose 2 times.
Yep.
Identical each time.
Okay, so I've got some IMDb trivia.
Okay.
So, you know, it could be dubious.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt.
It's the Wikipedia movies.
He did, in fact, eat that cockroach.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I knew that was real.
Commitment.
And regretted it immediately.
He looked like it.
And also got a number of calls from animal rights activists, which he then dissuaded by saying, have you never used a can of Raid in your home?
Yeah.
Checkmate.
Side copy of the Bible. Checkmate, atheist.
The second bit of trivia on here says Christian Bale used that performance as inspiration for Patrick Bateman.
Yeah,
I was getting it. I feel it in my heart.
Something I think we probably all noticed is that when he's going through the club doing those weird jerky movements, that was just straight up Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great bit how he just sort of like became more animated in his appearance, like just like hiking his shoulder up, tucking his neck in, and trying to be Count Orlok from Nosferatu.
Okay. I found this about the accent.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true. I want it to be true.
Okay.
The accent is supposed to be a fake accent that the character uses to sound smarter and more elegant, which is why it fades in and out through the movie.
Which would make sense.
Yeah. Also, in a 2018 or 2018 GQ interview, Cage stated that this is the favorite movie of his that he's made.
I mean, he went all the way up.
The favorite or a favorite?
This is the favorite movie he has made.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
also, apparently, in a earlier version of the script, that Judd Nelson was considered to play Nicolas Cage's character.
really? Huh. Interesting.
It's come a long way from the Breakfast Club.
Oh, gosh.
Let's see. Yeah, no, he said it's his favorite films that he's been in, and there are several scenes that were cut that the director and Cage both think would have been great to include.
Oh, God.
I hope it's just 20 more minutes of him walking through a club like Nosferatu.
I would absolutely love a director's cut of this film.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
Give us the Cage cut, you cowards.
Stallone was considered for the lead role.
That could have been really interesting.
That was, yeah,
now I want to see that movie.
Huh.
Give us the Rocky cut of Vampire's Kiss.
In an alternate universe, Nicolas Cage is Rocky.
Apparently, Travolta was considered for it too.
Who?
Travolta.
Now, I will say there were definitely some moments in his sort of outburst that he kind of slipped into a Travolta voice, especially like Hairspray Travolta when he's doing like a Midwest accent.
Yeah,
Baltimorean.
Let's see. I found some more stuff. Somebody else talk about your favorite scene so there's no dead air.
Oh, my favorite scene is every time Nick Cage was on screen acting like he was just straight out of the loony bin.
Oh yeah, so basically the whole movie.
Yes, the whole movie. Like this. Granted, I don't think this is a good performance, but I think it's also a brilliant performance. Like,
You can't say he didn't put 100% into it.
Well, according to Cage, he always saw this movie as a story of a man whose loneliness and inability to find love literally drives him insane.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah,
that works for the story they were trying to tell.
It does. He gradually gets just like loonier and loonier, and it works out.
Yeah.
I guess like how they told the story is like maybe what caused the hit or miss with a certain audience, because I can only imagine what it had been like to watch this movie when it came out and just be like fucking washed over by all the choices made in this movie. Like, I don't know if a 1980s audience, because I don't know if it's in a certain way of today's audience could like stand what happened, but it was like I said earlier at the top of the show, it was just like amazing to watch, because I was not expecting for this portion of like Cage's career for him to just go so far into the paint with like his what we know like his signature ability to just like be a raving madman.
Yeah. And something I don't know if I like or hate is a lot of like character study dramas of like the 70s feel like very aimless, like new Hollywood stuff, and depending on who, you know, what movie it is, it varies in quality, but like there's just kind of this through most of the movie, it kind of just is very like even kill, even though there's like Nick Cage being all crazy and stuff. It kind of feels like a bunch of like, I don't want to say disconnected scenes, but it was just like, it was kind of hard to see the structure of it.
It just kind of feel like it's just like a progression of events.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like, oh, there's a point they're trying to reach, like, oh, this is the goal, this is the end. Because I would say for the first maybe half of the movie, there's kind of like a pattern. Like, he has a nightlife, you know, he gets involved with the vampire, goes to work the next day and just berates this one employee. And then that kind of repeats. And then after a point, there's like an escalation in his behavior where he starts to really exacerbate like his like terror of this one office woman.
It's just like it's more of like a spiral down.
And then after that, he really sort of like starts to disintegrate at an accelerated pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because like I said, there's several scenes that were removed. And I think they would have more clearly spelled out that none of the vampire stuff was actually real. It was just that character going insane, because, you know, he had the marks on his neck, but you see him cut himself shaving, which explains it. You know, the bat being there messing him up. That's where the vampire shit comes from. And he's just losing his mind. Cage actually dropped out of the film. See, the original writers were together, and then they were not together, and so they're having trouble. So the guy who convinced him to star in it was going to direct it, and then that guy left, and Cage was like, well, that's not what I signed up for, and he left too. But he was like, I love this role, I really want to do this role. So they're shopping around for other people. They get word that he's regretted dropping out, so they go find him, like, we still need somebody, you want to do it? He's like, yes, God, please. And so he got paid $40,000 for the movie.
Oh, wow.
$40,000?
Which is not a lot in 1989 money.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
That's
wow,
quite a cut to make, you know, especially, I mean, even back in the day. But it was just showed like how much he appreciated the film, and like, you know, there's definitely a charm to it.
You know, you touched on there being like certain things that alluded to him not actually being a vampire at a certain point. When you mentioned mescaline, I had to look that up. It's actually peyote. Wonder if like that was actually being used at any point, like fueling his descent into madness, just like, because he seems like he's like waking up. He's like, where am I? Oh my gosh! And then he just.
I mean that could have been a little nugget of truth that slipped through, or part of the deleted scenes.
Oh yeah.
The director did not enjoy working with him. The quote is, I was always infuriated with him, but also thought he was completely brilliant. Because things like eating the cockroach. He was just supposed to suck down a raw egg. He was like, no, I'm afraid of cockroaches. Let me eat one. And they're like, what? And I was like, I'm afraid of cockroaches. And it calls back to Renfield and Dracula eating bugs. Let me eat a cockroach.
Oh man.
And so he did.
Yeah. Munch, munch, crunch, crunch.
Yeah.
Crunch.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is like galaxy brain through this whole goddamn movie.
Because like you don't see like you see him like munch down on it and he like violently shakes his head and he goes out of frame. I feel like that was legit his reaction. As you said earlier, he hated every minute of it, and it's like, like
just went away. The doctor they consulted said, "Yeah, if he does that, it's fine. Just have him drink a shot of vodka afterwards. Alcohol will kill anything in there."
Yeah.
And so he did it twice. There were 2 takes of that. He ate the thing live both times. He ate 2 cockroaches.
So,
live
like,
wriggly cockroaches.
Were they like? Did they find them on the street? Were they stunt cockroaches?
Yeah, like the they were
They
Union
just
cockroaches.
breed cockroaches.
They had an audition process.
Apparently, he remained in character off camera.
Shocking.
He went method the whole time.
Oh, I'm not surprised there.
He was always by himself, and he was listening to weird chanting music.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I mean, I definitely appreciate Method to an extent, and I feel like him isolating himself, that would definitely increase the feeling of separation and loneliness the character was feeling throughout the film.
The ending scene when he's finally lost his mind after killing that poor woman at the club, and he's walking around the streets with a stake saying, "Please, someone kill me." Those weren't extras.
Really?
You know what?
No way.
I kind of figured it was just real people he was going up to.
Yeah, no, all of those people were real people.
And I also, I kind of feel like how nonplussed they were. It's like, yeah, it's New York. It's just raving like madmen and like talking about vampires.
I immediately my head went to Jackass when that scene happened, when he was going up to people. I was like, "Oh, help me, please, kill me. He's like, "Get away from me, fucker." I was just like, that could easily have been like Chris Pontius or something, just fucking with somebody.
It turns out Vampire Kids not only inspired American Psycho, but also inspired Jackass.
You know what? It's all a circle.
The movie was barely financed by the screenwriter and director's parents, and at one point Nicolas Cage cost them $10,000 because in one scene that was the best scene, he hummed Stravinsky, which was still under copyright at the time from the Stravinsky estate. That cost him $10,000,
and they couldn't just edit that out or get a new shot.
No.
Also,
bitch.
Nicolas Cage also did not like Jennifer Beals, the vampire lady.
Okay.
Did not like her. Did not like her performance. Hated every second of being around her.
Okay.
I kind of see it.
Yeah, at the time, he wanted that role to go to his girlfriend, who was Patricia Arquette.
I wonder what.
Yeah, I forgot they were together.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say in his defense of her performance, every scene, at least in the bedroom when she was biting his neck, for some reason, she went full Tommy Wiseau and just started like humping his belly. Did y'all notice that?
Yeah.
Just like dry humping his fucking gut the whole time.
Now, I've never heard that. I'm scrolling as we're going, and this is just getting crazier and crazier. I just want to read this quote to you.
Okay.
To get turned on, Nick asked to have hot yogurt poured over his toes while he was doing love scenes with Jennifer Beals.
Hot yogurt?
Wait.
No, yep.
Come again.
Interesting if true.
This is true. This is from an interview with the director. To get turned on, Nick asked to have hot yogurt poured over his toes while he was doing love scenes with Jennifer.
Man.
Yeah, I think Nicolas
That's
Cage
very
is telling on
specific.
himself.
And that's why they say if you look at the shot, you can't see his feet.
Really?
Oh.
Well.
Because nobody wanted Tarantino.
How do you go from wax to yogurt?
Yeah, if you heat yogurt, it's just going to separate. It's going to be like...
You see, you put the yogurt, you take the container, and you put it in a bowl of hot water.
Yeah.
There you go. Problem solved.
So when the bat comes into the window, he got furious. He wanted a real bat, not a mechanical bat, which that obviously was.
Yes.
And so they were trying to explain to him, like, Nicholas, real bats have rabies and shit. You can't control them. And yeah, this is not going to work. Not going to work.
So it has to be real, goddammit. I'll go out to the Belfries myself.
He did actually find out that you can FedEx bats from Mexico. And the director shut that shit down immediately. Like, Nicholas, we're not bringing in bats from Mexico. That's ridiculous.
Man. But aren't fake bat shots just the best?
Oh, yeah.
And Cage was only 23 in this movie.
Really?
But
I knew he was a young gun. I didn't really that young.
His hairline was 37.
the director finally persuaded him that if a real bat showed up and Nick got rabies and died, the movie wouldn't be finished. And so Cage just sort of like kicked imaginary rocks. Okay.
It's like, touche.
He is a crazy person.
Yep. Absolutely crazy person.
But you know what? God bless him. 'Cause that's why if he wasn't crazy, we wouldn't have a show right now.
That is very true.
There was a point, I think you guys remember, when the script called for him to cry, he challenged himself. This was his choice to physically say the words boo-hoo, which the subtitle said boo-hoo. He was saying boo-hoo.
Yeah.
That was his choice.
Yeah.
To do that. And just, God, the misfiling scene where he's just flinging his head around.
A, B, C, D.
The whole alphabet. Oh my God.
He choreographed that scene in his hotel room, like, extensively.
Yeah.
Like, every single moment he came up with, and it was chosen on purpose.
Yeah, like he's just like in a broom closet. You just hear him like stomping around and saying muffled.
It's like I felt like that moment when he put his hands around his waist, like his fingies almost wrapped around his entire waist. It was like just weird fingy bands over his belly.
I mean, like he went full Max Grech and just got the really long fingies when he's like in full Nosferatu mode.
He did show up to the first day on set with a pencil-thin mustache. They told him to shave that shit.
It's like, listen here, John Waters. No.
But yeah, no, the accent thing, that is correct. It was a decision that his character would try to sound hoity-toity by sounding weirdly, vaguely, kind of, if you squint your ears, somehow British.
I mean, it fits.
Yeah.
That was kind of what I was thinking, like, during...
The producers and director did not enjoy it. They were horrified, is the word used.
I can imagine just seeing Nick Cage act like a literal crazy person, and they're like, this movie is ruined.
But they did say, though, like the producer confronted the director about it, and they said, like, Nick and I have been working on this a lot. We chose this because if he did this role totally straight, the character is so hateful, it would be entirely unwatchable.
Yeah, because like he's a bastard, and him acting like a Looney Tune character kind of helps soften the fact that he's a monstrously abusive and stalking and just like otherwise hateful to the office worker Alva. Like it's if they played it straight, it would be so. I mean, it's still uncomfortable to watch, but just like the fact that we have like these protracted sequences of him acting like a cartoon character helps kind of like make the bitter pill easier to swallow.
Yeah, and I think I agree with that decision because, like, part of me is like, because he is so Looney Tunes, like, there is, like, you could do this story, like, played straight and get a lot of emotional pathos out of it. But at the same time, we wouldn't have this, it would not be as memorable.
Yeah, and reviews at the time, they said that he was being lazy with his acting. They said it was intentionally bad, which, you know, obviously we know, especially now, none of that shit is true. Like, it wasn't a lazy choice. It was a choice.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a lazy choice.
Put his whole ass into making this movie.
Yeah.
And it just, people just didn't understand the cinema behind the page.
Well, the thing is like, there were I'm like, those are choices, and I probably would not make 90% of them if I was an actor. But
so yeah, the movie flopped.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to tell anybody that the movie did not do well.
What?
For two reasons. One, critics hated it. Like I said, they thought it was lazy.
It stinks.
Incoherently bad was one of the reviews. Also, it did have an unfortunate release date.
Which was?
The same day as Michael Keaton's Batman.
Oh, no.
That would do it.
Yeah. So, because it got delayed quite a bit because they kept re-editing it. Like, so there's so many scenes that should have been still in there. The director's cut. You know, give us the Cage cut of Vampire's Kiss, you cowards. But yeah, so it ended up being released the same day as Batman. And the producers went around to various theaters in New York where they were to see if anybody was in there. And there were empty theaters, completely empty. Nobody in there. Because everybody's watching Batman. What are you gonna do?
But there's a bad in our movie.
That is one of the quotes
What
in
the
this
fuck?
in this article. Yeah. There's a bad in our movie.
But like that's like the thing coming to theaters 2 weeks after E.T.
Yeah. It's just sometimes things don't work out well.
Yeah.
And just some shit that's just out of your control, which has to be frustrating, especially with movies, because they are just so fucking hard to make.
Yeah.
You put your heart and soul into this one project, and then it's just like Batman.
And imagine just considering like just the emotional labor, probably physical labor that went into making this film. All the like bananas, wackadoo bullshit. And then it's like, finally, this fucking movie, it's done, it's over, we can put it out. God fucking damn it, Batman.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this movie's going to be a success. And then Batman just shows up and says, nah.
Or do you think...
Nah, hey.
But I mean, honestly, I don't think if it didn't come out, I just think the Batman aspect of this exacerbated the problem. It probably wouldn't have done much better.
Or do you think some people in the executive office were still under the impression they were like, oh, Mr. Mom's playing Batman? Oh, don't worry. Nobody's going to go see that.
I mean, that is entirely possible. Keaton did not have glowing endorsements going into Batman.
Oh, I can.
I say that as someone who has recently purchased Mr. Mom on Blu-ray. I found it at Target.
I like Mr. Mom.
I do too.
But I mean, at the time, Keaton was known for comedy, like Mr. Mom, Multiplicity, Beetlejuice. Like he's going to be Batman. That's stupid. Which is weird
like
because
Bruce Willis was known for comedies before Die Hard.
Yeah. But I mean, like the Keaton thing, so like analysts didn't think it was going to do well. Yeah. And then it did crazy good. Good thing that no Batman casting has ever been second guessed since. I'm glad everyone learned their lesson. Second guessing Batman castings, characters.
I'll just say that we've had some nice sort of surprises from Batman casting. So I would say the Batman casting are consistently underrated and have some nice surprises.
Yeah, I'm like, thank God no one said Heath Ledger, he'll be terrible. That'd be silly.
Absolutely, no one said that.
No one said that at all, did they, Ken? No
one ever said
not a single
that.
person.
Everyone was so excited for that when they heard
this. They thought it was going to be the best idea ever. So yeah, Batman. If this movie had been released like in the past 2 years, it would have been a smash hit.
Yeah,
I think so.
I believe that, actually.
As part of the Cageissance.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Like, what if he remakes this like shot for shot?
That would be
just for shits and gigs.
I don't know if he has it in him to do some of the stuff.
I think he does. Here's what I would watch.
It would definitely be a different energy.
What if he turns this into a one-man show and just redoes the movie himself?
Like he plays every character,
narrates the shit, just does it all himself.
Let's start the Kickstarter now.
Yeah, I would watch the shit out of it.
Oh, 100%.
It'd be like the Patrick Stewart doing that Christmas Carol one-man play all by himself. Is fantastic.
That sounds incredible.
Well, that's why we got the 1999 version of the Christmas Carol funded by TNT with Patrick Stewart.
Oh, how about that?
Because of his one-man show. Yeah, it was apparently very good.
Also, if you want to hear more about the Christmas Carol, check out the AYCH feed where Shimmy last Christmas counted down his favorite and least favorite Christmas Carol adaptations.
Yep. That is a thing that I was on. It was good. It was good. Spoiler alert, that one with Guy Pearce is the one I hated the most. Don't watch that shit.
No, that was obviously your favorite.
That episode was just a vehicle to get to the point where you can talk about how much you hated the Guy Pearce.
I mean, that was kind of the point. Yeah, I wanted to warn people.
Naked. I would say it was stripped bare, butt, back, and ball showing.
Butt, back, and ball showing.
Fucking hate that version. It makes me angry. It's bad. It's upsetting. God. So a lot of fun 80s faces in this movie.
Oh,
like two of them. The first lady that Cage goes on a date with is from Hard Target. A movie that we watched. Check back the Cage and Greatness feed for our Jean-Claude Van Damme special. You want to hear that?
She was also in Silence of the Lambs, right?
Was she?
I can see it.
Yeah, probably. I didn't check that one. Also, the poor secretary who gets just destroyed by Nicolas Cage. She was also in one of my favorite Schwarzenegger movies. Without Conan the Barbarian, it is my favorite. It is The Running Man. She was one of the characters in that. Great film. which we will talk about someday in our Schwarzenegger retrospective. Since we've done Van Damme, we've done Lundgren, we get to Justin's choice. Guess what? Schwarzenegger.
And yes, she was in Silence of the Lambs.
That's cool. You know, for 3 relatively high-profile movies, 2 of which were actually successful, she hadn't been in much else, has she?
She was Candyman and some other movies. Look like maybe like a Spike Lee joint.
Oh.
You know, she might have just wanted to get her fill, and she moved on to better things.
Well, possible. Same thing Rick Moranis did.
Yep.
Yeah, she only did about a handful of movies outside of those 4.
Huh. Fair enough.
When you do 4, you don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
Or you just come back 30 years later in a commercial with Ryan Reynolds, like Rick Moranis did.
Well, I mean, like, honestly, probably the royalties from Silence of the Lambs alone be enough to...
Get probably a nice little check you get every week.
And, you know, Rick Moranis quit acting to raise his kids when his wife died.
Yeah.
So, you know. And then some fuckwad punched him in the face last year.
Yeah, what the fuck,
punched him in the face?
Some random dude punched him in the face in New York.
Why?
Yeah, there was
Just
cam
because?
footage of it.
No, just because.
That's crazy.
Just
Wow.
walked by him, threw hands.
Huh.
Most
what an
hated
asshole.
man in the world for about 3 days.
Yeah.
Which is impressive considering.
They got him, didn't they?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, they got him.
Yeah.
Bastard. If you're listening to this guy who punched Rick Moranis,
You're a dick.
It's on site.
on site, motherfucker.
Straight shooting. Pew, pew, TNT.
Like, I don't even know what he looks
Not actual
I've got my
guns.
broken off palate, and I'm ready to stab you right in the gut.
That's right. We're going to get a steak, and we're going to stack because you're a vampire who punched Rick Moranis.
That's right. The guy who punched Rick Moranis, you're going on the official Cajun Greatness bounty list right over there.
Yes.
Nick
Patrick
Cage.
is definitely pointing to a bounty list, not the empty air next to where we're
Hey,
recording.
Jimmy, I don't appreciate you breaking kayfabe.
It's like
this.
Steve-
I'm not breaking kayfabe. I was saying you're definitely pointing to a list.
That's a very pointed statement you're making
It's
right now.
absolutely right there. It's not just imaginary like a vampire lady.
Nick Cage is a vampire, but
But
the world is a vampire.
the world isn't a vampire. The world isn't round. The world isn't flat. It's just fucked.
What
And on that depressing note,
all right. What if the real vampire?
What's the friends we made along the way?
What if the real vampire was climate change?
Like, you're talking about the bounty list is like Steve Buscemi from Billy Madison.
Yes.
It's like Billy Madison's name is crossed off on the list. I was just making sure.
Yeah, because we got that bastard.
Oh no!
So, Ken, as a first-time participant in the Cajun
What's up?
Greatness, I do have to ask, what has been your experience thus far?
With the movie or with the podcast as a whole?
You know,
Yes.
whatever you're feeling right now.
Yes.
With the movie, it was a fever dream. I feel like
This or the show?
both really. You go into the movie, and not to spoil much for people, but within the first
We
5
spoil
minutes,
everything. It's fine.
You get to see Nicolas Cage suck a nipple, and that's not something that I was ready for.
yeah, no, there are boobs in
You
this.
really gotta like
Yeah.
prepare yourself mentally to see that. And they just throw you right in. I just really think it set the tone for the movie.
Yeah.
All in all, I've had a great time.
That's good. That's good. Glad you had a good time.
So thank you for your time.
And without further ado,
Goodbye. Mwah. Good night.
Brian Danielson.
Bang. Also, that's Wenzel's favorite new bit now.
Yeah, he loves it.
Oh, that's great. So how about Dynamite being moved for the next... You know, a friend of ours, Jeremy, he texted me not 20 minutes ago, said, hey, I cleared my schedule. I'm going to come watch wrestling with you guys this Wednesday like y'all keep asking me to do. And I'm like, well, either you don't know and the universe hates you or you're just being a shithead. But there's no wrestling on Wednesday. It's been moved to Saturday. He's like, well, shit, what about the next week? My schedule's clear. I'm like, look, motherfucker, I think you're just fucking with me at this point. But no, he was genuinely sad.
See, I thought you were going to say, when he texted you, hey, keep it fucking down. You're loud as fuck.
Shut up! People aren't supposed to know the Dynamite's on Saturday now. Fucking just calm down.
Y'all just giving it away for free as loud as you're fucking yelling.
That one scene in the film where, I mean, granted, he berates this one employee several times in this movie.
Yeah.
But the one time where his eyes just get gradually just wider and wider, where I feel like this may have been the inspiration for the Ghost Rider.
I mean, it was definitely that one meme that everybody likes to post.
I will say, as ridiculous as that moment is, and how mimetic it is, I did think it was kind of interesting how he did have this physical transformation, how he's just getting like more and more like physically exaggerated as he's like trying to intimidate this poor woman. And I was like, you know what? I know this probably isn't classically good, but like, I still think it's kind of impressive, just the fact that how he's able to have just a huge exaggerated expression, then kind of like slowly morph back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, he was going for crazy and intimidating, and by God, it worked.
Yeah,
like
It was pretty scary.
when he jumped on that table. Like, if we hadn't been laughing the whole time, knowing that this is a meme-worthy cage, like that shit would be scary.
Yeah,
if he just like he's coming to Pat, where's the contract? And he just jumps on the fucking table and starts running after you. I'd pee my pants.
And then I pull my fucking like Saturday Night Special out of my purse and be like, "What's good, motherfucker?"
Yeah, except it's loaded with blanks because that's gonna help.
I mean,
all you got.
as big as that fucking gun, you could have knocked a knot in his head. That thing is like 95 pounds.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a hefty piece.
And you know what this movie also reminded me of? It reminded me of even though what you're led to believe this movie could be at one point, even though it's all in his head, it reminded me of like a darker version of Once Bitten.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely got that vibe. It also reminded me, well, not like it reminded me in sort of like a reverse order of bits of Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy.
Bless you. I never saw that one.
Really, it's terrible.
Because backstory on that movie didn't like Eddie Murphy, wasn't he like tired of playing comedic roles, and he was like intentionally trying to make that movie serious?
Yes,
despite just like the absurd concept.
He wanted to be a villain. There's nothing funny in the movie. Everybody like was like, "Oh, Eddie Murphy is a vampire in Brooklyn. That looks like it'll be fun." And then it wasn't, and it did not do well. Like it bombed so fucking hard, which led to the joke that David Spade made on Weekend Update, where he shows a picture of Eddie Murphy. He says, "Look, kids, a falling star. Make a wish," which led to Eddie Murphy being mad for 30 years. Because Eddie Murphy's a thin-skinned bitch.
I saw that Watch Mojo video today too.
Yeah, how's it going? Right? Isn't it weird how Chris Kattan hates everybody and everybody hates Chris Kattan?
Everybody hates Chris Kattan.
Because Kattan kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Except for his brilliant performance in Corky Romano.
Oh, God. Much like Nicolas Cage, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
How did he throw up again exactly, Pat?
Oh, it was hardcore.
See,
I love how he would just like have like just like emotional scene and immediately go just like just a desperate heaving puke.
It's several. It's like he's talking to his fake imaginary girlfriend who he just met 10 minutes ago in his head. It's like, oh, he just like, it's just horrible.
Like it's kind of like.
And also, if you're just joining us or not familiar with the Cajun Greatness canon, Patrick.
If you're not familiar,
yeah. Oh, apropos. Patrick, we have found out it really amuses him when something like happens.
Yeah, no, just the gross dry heaving sound makes Patrick laugh. And when Cage did it, I thought Pat was going to pee his pants.
I mean, we might need to check him. He's probably full of PP right now.
Yeah,
PP pants,
I mean,
Pat.
After Bobby Fish and AEW,
you're very welcome to pat me down.
I mean, because you pooped your pants when Bobby Fish showed up in AEW.
Yeah.
Now you pee in your pants because Nicolas Cage goes, it's. I made him laugh with one.
Does this mean you're going to constantly be in a state of a full diaper since Bobby Fish is now in AEW?
Listen here now. This is a full diaper household. If you don't make boom boom and pee pee at least once while you're here, you're not allowed to come back.
I better get busy.
I just look over to Ken, and Ken just has like the 1,000-yard stare.
Before
See you guys next time.
Before Pat finally got canned with laughter, he's just like, "Oh no, what have I done?" He's just staring off.
God, you scared the shit out of me with that shit today.
Oh my God.
For reference, Ken made a Snapchat video where that song's playing, and then right at the end he screams.
I roll up to Foster's, and that song legit starts playing on the alt station, and I'm just like letting it play, and I'm slowly zooming into my face, and like I just let it go, and then I just go. And apparently Jonathan shit their pants.
Because I was just chilling at work. I'm like, oh, I got a Snapchat from Cannon. These are usually funny. And the thing is, it goes on for like 2 minutes.
It wasn't that long.
It felt like 2 minutes.
It was. I mean, it was.
It just zooming in. It was just, and then just made that ungodly like.
So you late 90s jump scared poor John?
I did.
Yeah, like it was just straight up.
Why do you think I didn't send it to you?
I appreciate that. I would have pooped.
No, it probably would have got you.
I would have pooped immediately. Just all over my chair.
Like I checked your name in the box, but I was like, wait. I probably shouldn't without warning.
That was legitimately very kind of you, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
If Justin would have got a Yelp review, it's like, hey, this comic book guy, he shit his pants in front of me.
It's like, he'll be the customer.
Oh,
Just wait
no.
1 second. It's like, oh, no. Yeah, we have that book. It's like, no, we can.
I just throw the phone and hit the customer in the face.
You inadvertently get him charged with like assault with a deadly weapon.
Oh, God.
Just go full Naomi Campbell and toss the phone. That's right. I referenced model Naomi Campbell, who got in trouble for throwing her phone in somebody's face.
Yeah, Justin always with the
Phone
topical
faces.
references.
Very timely, I know. Look, I'm sorry. I have a really good memory, and I read a lot of random bullshit because I get a lot of free time.
Yeah,
I too am
but
addicted to Reddit.
We need current events of people being assaulted by cellular devices.
Okay, well, I mean, Kiefer Sutherland did it once, and Russell Crowe too. A lot of phone being thrown around, yeah.
I'm not sure how recent it was, but there was like a show where Tom Morello was playing guitar, and a fan. They had a bunch of fans on stage. Guy was like trying to film him and Tom Morello playing, and then Tom Morello stops playing, grabs his phone, and fucking launches it into the crowd.
Huh. Well,
Fuck you! You can't do what you tell me.
Yeah, I was just like, it's like, damn, man. What? I know you like Rage Against Machines, but why'd you have to rage against my phone so hard? Damn,
it's a machine.
That's
It's a
just
machine.
rude.
Gotta rage.
Like you don't even sound upset. You're just like, man, I'm disappointed.
Honestly,
even-
though, Tom
even the
Morello
guy-
chucks your phone at a concert. That's kind of a badass story. Like it's almost worth it, you know?
Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah.
suppose.
It's even better when someone in the audience caught it and gave it back to them.
And you've got video of the whole thing. That'd be great.
The phone that was on the whole time.
That would actually be really cool.
So,
oh my God.
have you guys heard that fanboys are mad about two different things today?
Today,
what two things?
No.
Just
Which
today.
fanboys?
You know, the comic book crowd.
About
I have
being
an
bisexual.
idea. Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
And it's the same reaction as when Miles Morales became a thing. Like, you can't kill Spider-Man and replace him with a black Latino. It's like, well, they're not. This is an Ultimate Universe Spider. It's a different version. It's multiverse. Peter Parker's still alive with the one you've been reading. This is a new. Same thing. It's like, Superman loves Lois Lane, not Lois Lane. I'm like, you stupid motherfucker. This is Lois Lane's child. What's like? Have you not paid attention to anything going on? People are dumb. The other thing is more recent. They have announced the casting for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 character Adam Warlock.
I did see that. Yes,
And it is Will Poulter.
What is he in?
He was in what is it? We're the Millers. Yeah.
He was the
Will
awkward
Poulter.
kid in the We're the Millers.
Yeah, he was going to be Pennywise.
Oh, is he the guy who's like, hey, you guys are getting paid?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Huh.
When you know it, he's getting paid for real.
He sure
now.
is.
Yeah.
Which
so-
I was for Adam Warlock. I mean, all right.
How old is he now?
God, mid late 20s, I think.
Yeah.
See, the last thing I remember him in was Midsummer.
Yeah. He was in Narnia. He was in The Voyage of the Down Treader.
Oh, the one that no one watched.
I watched it. God damn it. That was my favorite Narnia book, and they just fucked it up.
It's really disappointing. It was a really good book.
he was also in Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
He was in Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's going to be Adam Warlock. And I'm excited because he's a great actor.
Well, I wanted to give him a shake. I don't know why everybody mad about shit before they even get to play their role.
Well, thank God 1989's Batman casting taught us that lesson.
Mr. Mom!
There's one thing we learned: the American public will not repeat the same mistake twice.
Nope, never.
Never in a million years.
If I know anything about American history, is that we always learn from our mistakes.
Absolutely. We do. That's why we're the greatest country in the world.
If there's anything I've learned about American history, X.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I'm free.
Can't sing about America on a podcast. That's
There was a lot of Twin Tower shots in the movie.
There were so many Twin Tower shots.
9/11, never forget.
They made sure
We couldn't.
you didn't forget.
Yeah,
Even if it's right, we couldn't.
Also, speaking,
How dare you, movie from 1988? Fuck!
how could you not proceed? How could you not proceed?
Why did they warn us first and foremost?
And not only like they did, they even forgot about the little one that happened before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, there was another bombing before that.
But I was going to say, speaking of traumatic events, and not having the decency to anticipate future trauma, is when Nicolas Cage just goes full Orlok and it's like skulking through the discotheque, and how like everybody in that building is like asses to elbows. That's like, you know what? In a COVID era, this is extremely anxiety.
Nobody's wearing a mask in there.
No,
Why?
It's going to be really interesting to see over the next minimum decade how bad the PTSD from like half of the people in the world is going to be for giant crowd, like, because half of these fucking morons don't care, like, yeah, let's do it, fine, fuck it, and they end up in the ER. They don't know why. But like some of us who have been trying to not die, seeing a crowd like that just face to fucking face to face to face to face, yeah, like that's it made me nervous watching it.
It's like, oh.
Well, I mean, and even not thinking about Corona, it's like, man, y'all giving everybody your own cooties. Everybody got everybody else's cooties.
It's like everybody just breathing the same hot air, and it's just like sweat and like
it's like they
farts. And like that place probably smells like a dump.
It's like they forgot the cootie era pandemic of 1988.
Yeah,
How could we forget?
So it's like never forget.
Never
We
forget.
forgot that.
if they would have made a poster on the Twin Towers, nobody would have forgot about it.
Yep.
I can't believe there's so many anti-vaxxers. I mean, it's just literally circle, circle, dot, dot. You got your cootie shot, but no, it's that simple.
Oh, that's some memories.
Yeah. I actually went to a concert not too long ago, and everyone was packed in there. But they actually were making us show vaccine cards at the door, so I thought that was a nice compromise. Still letting us be debaucherous hood rats, but
Well, that's
being
what they're
safe
doing
about
for-
it as much as you can be safe in a Lorna Shore mosh pit.
Yeah, that's what they're doing for the concert tomorrow.
And as Ken resets his nose from the mosh pit.
Yeah.
I did legitimately get a concussion at one of the last ones I went to. I got kicked in the side, or hit, I'm not sure, but I got kicked in the back of the head. It was a good time.
What show was that?
That was Carnifex in Nashville.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, that was a good
You've
one.
gotten a lot of strange injuries since I've known you.
Yeah, I've got tinnitus now. My ears never
Really?
stop ringing.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
that's why you should always wear earplugs.
Yeah, kids, always wear your earplugs.
It's like that time you broke your back from running.
Running with pulled muscle in my back, but yes, it was running.
He broke his spine.
Now, for those of you who don't know me, I am the peak of human athleticism. Just think
Absolutely,
like
yes. No, that's very clear.
Steve Rogers when I was 12, maybe.
Yeah.
I thought Miro was in here a minute ago. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
No, I'm one of the only people who's ever broken their back from a non-impact related accident.
Yeah. He pulled a muscle in his back, and then he ran funny playing basketball poorly, which cracked his spine.
On both sides. I did the same thing to both sides, kept running. It was like, it's probably not a good thing that I can't stand up without excruciating pain. Maybe you should go get this checked out.
See, like when they saw him leaning at a 90-degree angle, they thought that was just his style.
Yeah, it was, that's how we did it back in 2010. That was the style back then.
Sure was. Damn kids.
It's all about hard angles.
All about hard angles. Acute angles? Obtuse? No. What is this, 2004?
No, the only real angle is right. Yeah.
Damn right.
On that note, I think it's about time we wrap up. Thank you for listening to us talk about Vampire's Kiss for like a good 30 minutes total, I think. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
at
40.
least.
It wasn't a small amount.
Yeah, and much like the series as a whole, a nice chunk, Cage, and then the rest is just senseless horseshit.
Right, but that's why people enjoy what we do. And
I certainly hope they did.
By people, I mean us. That's why we enjoy this. Senseless horseshit.
You know, you have to be your own biggest fan, and I think we accomplished that much.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Because, I mean, this way we can sit around and do the stupid shit that we always do, but, like, it has a purpose. And we can say things like, no, I'm sorry, I can't go out tonight. I got to do a podcast. And it's just sitting here talking shit. It's fun, though.
Yep.
So, let's do plugs. John, my friend, my colleague, my pal,
My comrade.
where can they find you? They, of course, being the three people listening.
You can follow
The three of the people around you.
Yes, yes, all of
everyone,
us.
all the listeners that are in this room. My name is John. You can follow me on Twitter at JONIABOY24 and John Notes on 12 on Letterboxd.
And I have been That Canon Guy. You can follow me at That Canon Guy on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd.
Hello, this is Patrick. Thank you all so much for listening. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at John Lost His Name. My art on Facebook at John Lost His Name. If you're listening to the week it comes out, on Monday, October 11th, AYCH release episode 233, where we count down the top 50 scary movie moments, and we see if those really hold up today's horror climate. On Tuesday, October 12th, Tanner has a brand new episode of The Late Takes where he interviews another one of his friends from the Twitter sphere. And I think this time it might actually be a up-and-coming independent wrestler.
Oh.
So, we appreciate your business and thank you for your time.
Yep. Ken, do you want the people to find you places?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, where can they find you?
You can find me in the 1980s phone book where it's got my address right next to my name.
Right. That is a reference to Vampire's Kiss.
Yes, that did
People
happen.
can just look up your name.
Look me up in the phone book.
And break your knees with a tire iron.
And I, of course, am Captain Shimmy. You can find me at Captain Shimmy's Kinda Art, Captain Shimmy's Almost Music, the comic strip here in Tuscaloosa. You want some comics? Come get some comics. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, then in 2 days' time, on Saturday, it's our Wonder Woman Day event where we partner up with Turning Point of Tuscaloosa, a domestic violence shelter that has no affiliation with Turning Point USA, who are a bunch of goddamn Nazis. And we partner with them, raise some money, have some big sales. Should be a good time. And as far as Cajun Greatness goes, some of the stuff we have coming up in the docket for this spooky season.
Ooh.
Next week, we're watching Season of the Witch, starring Nicolas Cage, obviously, and Ron Perlman. I've seen it. I enjoyed the movie, and I'll go ahead and tell you guys the scariest part of it is Cage's hairpiece, because holy shit. After that, we're going to have a special 1-2 punch of Ghost Rider 1 and 2 with our friend Postman Frank, who is super excited to watch Ghost Rider 2 again and definitely won't be furious and ranting the entire time.
And we definitely may not have a moment where we film him burning that DVD effigy.
Definitely not. And then after that, November is the month of canon, really. So
Canon takeover.
We're going to have a Travolting development the first week, that Canon's choice. After that, we do hijack the month back for a special Leguizamo Day.
I didn't sign off on this.
Too bad. You were outvoted.
Shit.
You get 3 weeks out of the month, Canon. Goddamn.
That's where we're going to review both a Leguizamo-based Image comic book, because that's a thing that happens for some reason.
Yeah.
And I finally make these guys watch The Pest. It's gonna be horrifying. After that is Canon's special birthday episode. Not sure what we're doing there, but I'm sure it'll be fun. And then the week following that is something else that Canon will pick. Probably a Cage movie. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. It's okay.
We'll get there.
We're walking here.
We're walking.
You're just like your father.
We're planning here.
So yeah, that's what we got coming up. So hope you enjoy our brand of bullshit, and we will see you guys next week. And Ken, thank you again for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We've enjoyed it thoroughly, even if you did infringe on Canon's gimmick.
Yeah.
Also, I will say round of applause.
Round of applause for Ken. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And we look forward to seeing you on the Left Behind episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Which
Or
is,
whenever you want to come back on.
That movie
Don't always-
traumatized me
Yeah.
as a small child.
no, this is the Nicolas Cage version.
Oh, well, I'm traumatized me as an adult.
You remember the Kirk Cameron one? The Nick Cage version's worse.
I'm excited.
It's fucking awful.
I'm excited.
It should be a good time. Anyway, thank you all. And yeah, don't drink anybody's blood. You're not a fucking vampire.
9/11, never forget.
Vampire! Mwah, I'm a vampire. I shitted.
How absurd.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?